Right then folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the top 5 Premier League transfers so far. This is Football Fan Zone. So it's still just under a week until the transfer window closes. There's already been a lot of transfers already done. Still possibly a few more that could happen, that could change this list. But for now we're going to focus on the ones that have been done. Most of these players, in fact all of these players, have already played for their respective clubs before, whether it be this season or last season. So let's get started with number 5. My pick at number 5 is... I've gone for an outside one here, Albert Conga, the player from Anderlecht to Arsenal, midfielder, has played in the last couple of games for Arsenal against Brentford and against Chelsea. And although they didn't play well as a team in those games, Conga proved that actually perhaps there's a player in there, someone who can hold their own. And the reason I've got him in my top 5 transfers because he's only cost 10 million quid. This could be either an absolute bargain that Arsenal have found on their hands, or it could be a disaster. It's hard to say at this moment in time, but certainly from the 2 games that I've seen, there certainly seems to be a player in there. He's a young player, like I said, from Anderlecht, and certainly a player to keep an eye on. So as of that, he's just about made my top 5. Number 4 is Jack Grealish. And why have I gone for Jack Grealish? Well, a proven Premier League player, was excellent at England, for England in the Euros, and I think this is a real player that Man City have got. He's got a long career ahead of him as well. The only reason he's not higher up is because I do think at 100 million quid, I think he's a good player, but is he a £100 million player? I would argue probably not just yet. Also, we haven't seen too much of him in the very top level of the Premier League and of course in the Champions League. So because of that, that's why I've got him at number 4 rather than higher. But I do think Man City have got a terrific player there going forward. At my number 3. Number 3, I've actually gone for Joe Willock, £25 million to Newcastle from Arsenal. And the reason I've gone for Joe Willock is I think this could be a brilliant signing from Newcastle, and could be a terrible bit of transfer business from Arsenal potentially. Joe Willock had a loan spell at Arsenal in the second half of last season, scored 8 goals in 14 appearances from midfield. And I think a lot of people are quite surprised that Arsenal didn't give him a go going into the season over that sort of form. And if he now he's signed for Newcastle, he hasn't quite played. Well, he hasn't yet played his first game. We're expecting his first game to be this weekend. If he goes on the sort of form that he finished last season off, where does that leave Arsenal with that sort of transfer? They've already had the mistake of letting Martinez go to Aston Villa, and then Martinez going to do brilliantly for Aston Villa, 2 goes wins Copa America of Argentina, whilst Arsenal have been struggling to find a backup goalkeeper themselves. So this smacks of that all over, but remains to be seen. Arsenal have had problems scoring goals, and now they've allowed Joe Willock to leave, having scored 8 goals in 14 appearances for Newcastle last season. Could be an excellent sign for Newcastle, therefore it's at my number 3. Number 2, I have gone for Emiliano Buendia from Norwich to Aston Villa. It was a £38 million deal. Now the reason I've gone for them at number 2 is I think this is the sort of signings that Aston Villa, by making these sort of signings, are making a statement. And whether or not Buendia was worth 38 million quid remains to be seen, in my opinion. But one thing's for absolute certain, that Arsenal wanted Buendia, and Aston Villa beat Arsenal to him. That shows where Aston Villa are moving up. I mean, you could argue that perhaps shows where Arsenal have really dropped off, because normally speaking, it wouldn't even be a close contest. But the fact Aston Villa have gone up toe to toe with a big club like Arsenal and managed to pull off this signing makes it, in my opinion, number 2 signing of the summer so far, because it shows where Aston Villa are going. It shows what they've become as a football club. So again, for me, Buendia, number 2, that's a great bit of business for Aston Villa. And so for me, number 1 transfer of the summer so far has to be Lukaku to Chelsea. 98.5 million quid, it's an expensive signing. Is he worth 98.5 million quid? Probably not, but what I would argue is that he has that single transfer has made Chelsea, in my opinion, strong title favourites now. They look like a solid, well-drilled, well-worked team, and all of a sudden they've got a player that's going to score goals. Now, the importance of a player scoring goals, I believe only Man City last season were the only side in quite a while, many a year, where the team has won a title without a player scoring 20 goals. And you think of all the great title winning sides over the last 20 years or so, you think of, if you go back to Arsenal's days, Thierry Henry would score 20 plus goals a season. Then after that, Chelsea, Drogba scored 20 plus goals a season. Then after that, Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney with Man United scoring 20 goals a season. Then of course Man City, with the likes of Sergio Aguero. You can even go back with Man United in 2012. The difference there, Van Persie comes in and scores 20 goals, United win a title. Having that goal scorer that scores 20 goals a season gives teams titles. You even go back to Liverpool a couple of years ago, Salah, etc. You know, you need a 20 goal a season striker as a rule in order to win a title. I believe Chelsea now have that. That could be the difference to them winning the title, and so for that reason it has to be number one signing of the summer so far. And there you have it. That is my top 5 Premier League signings of the summer so far. There's still just under a week to go until the transfer window closes, so that list could look very different in a week's time, but as it stands, that's my top 5. What do you guys think? Who do you think are your top, or are the 5 best transfers in the Premier League so far? Perhaps you agree with some of mine, perhaps you disagree. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, don't click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Click that notification bell. That way you will be notified when we do or when videos are released. We are planning on bringing live streams soon to the channel as well, so keep an eye out for that. The best thing, like I said, is to be subscribed and have the notification bell ticked. So until next time, take care football fans, and I'll see you all again soon.